Hello, drama farmers. Just kidding, you guys aren't drama farmers, but I'm the real drama farmer here. No, I'm not. I'm here to hopefully resolve some drama because today we have, I want to make sure it's recording my sound. Is it? Okay, it is. Today, oh my goodness. We got some crazy drama from the H3 Bachelor episode with Jeff Wittek and Verisa, I think was her name, from this because, wow, dude, Reddit is going out of control, and someone just dropped this. I'm laughing at the fact that someone had the time to write this out, and I'm going to become even more of a loser for reading this out, but I'm going to read it out anyway because I can't believe that someone is this invested into an online potential relationship, or even if it is one, out of an online show. Like, someone actually had the time to write this out. And I know I'm no better because I'm making the video about it. So, who am I to talk? But I think the reason I'm talking about it is because I have at least some sort of moral standing ground when it comes to this subject. I don't want to be the guy that's like, look at me, I'm right, you're wrong. But the situation is pretty crazy that someone would try to knock them down, especially Verisa, who is someone who's never been on the internet, didn't even post pictures of herself on her Instagram. And that some Reddit guy or gal or NB, whoever it might be, decided to write this whole thing out. So I'm going to read it before I yap too much about it, and we're going to get right into it. So the whole thing was that Verisa won the H3 Bachelor, and the drama behind it all is that the internet can't handle a long-distance relationship for some reason. Apparently, if you decide to engage in that, you become an automatic bad person to most of the internet. And I believe a lot of this, to give it some real context, stems from people's insecurities. They know they couldn't handle it, so they have to put themselves on blast. And that's precisely what this is. This person, I think, is kind of calling themselves out, and it's kind of funny to see, if I'm being honest. But give me a quick sec here to pull out my chat, because I forgot to do that. What a great streamer I am, huh? Forgetting to pulling up my chat. So this is I'm gonna make this a quick stream too, because I gotta get going tonight. But here we go. Let's dive right on into this. So, oh my god, I always get really itchy before I stream. Jeff is 34, and then I like this. She is 23 or 24? This person doesn't even know. The age gap is crazy. So I'm going to address these things one by one and not, go too slow. So the age gap. What do you guys think is a quote-unquote normal age gap or whatever? Because to me, I mean, I feel like it's weird if the person's 17 and 27, that feels weird. Even feels a little weird at 18, 28. Still feels a little bit kind of I could see it, but it's not great in my opinion. But it's because of when you're 18, you're still developing yourself. When I think back, I'm 28 now. And now I think about who I was at age 18. My brain was still developing. I was still trying to figure out how to drive a car damn near. And I literally was still trying to figure out where am I going to go for college? Or maybe I was had that figured out but didn't know what my job was going to be or any of that. You're still figuring yourself out, which is why I mentioned that 18 is kind of a crazy, the 18-28 dynamic. But in my own personal opinion, and this might be a hot take, is that it gets a little bit less weird as you become into your 20s. So like the 23 and let's say 30 age gap, 23 and 33 age gap. I saw a TikTok the other day of this girl posting a video where she said she's 27 and her boyfriend is 37. And she's very happy with it. And she's not the only person I know like this. Well, I don't know her, but I saw her on TikTok. I've seen this before. And I'm just happy for those people that you know, some people that's just how it works out, you know? But this person's like, the age gap is crazy. Jeff said he wants kids soon. That's not happening, at least. She's too young and immature. Jeff did not say it right away. He specifically, in fact, I don't even need to pull up the clip. He straight up in, let's see if, it was in this episode right here where he literally said, I don't want kids right away. He straight up said that. So that person's just wrong. LDR, long distance relationship is hard and complicated. Maybe to you, sudden simple. I think sudden simple just wants a sudden relationship that is simple and doesn't want to do the work. You're sudden and simple, no work for you. Why would he do that? When there's so many girls in LA that are prettier than her, it doesn't make sense to make his life more complicated. But let's just say that to make it work, the process to get the visa is so long and complicated, the connection will die by then. Is that how it works? Okay, got it. Noted. So any long distance relationship, when this person is overseas, heaven forbid someone get a visa. No. Don't do that. It'll take way too long to get the visa, and therefore your significant other will hate you, and it's not going to work out. Don't ever try that. That's such a... I don't want to, like, sit here and be, like, calling this person a weird person, but it really takes more than, like, 10 seconds of thought to really understand this. I'm friends with plenty of people who have relationships that are overseas like this, and do they complain about it? No, they actually enjoy each other. They get to see each other once every couple months. And some of them, matter of fact, even just like they'll do things like FaceTime. They'll make calls to each other. They'll send each other notes. Except like this isn't hard to figure out how a long distance relationship works out regardless of the time. Like, I know people that they even go as far as like seeing each other once a month doing this. So it's not like this is a totally undoable thing. Now, the moving dynamic that a lot of people seem to get themselves in a twist with this whole thing is Jeff mentioned in either H3 Bachelor in Jeff FM somewhere that by the summer he's thinking about going to New York and moving there for a little bit. So yeah, he's already got plans, and I see how people take that and they go, well, he's going here, so that doesn't work. And at the end of the day, I'm not going to be the guy that sits here and is like, this is 100% serious. This has to work out no matter what. My stance on this is, let's use two takes here. So one being that this was a game and made for fun, then, it's just like a fun thing, and then it, dies off to whatever. And that's okay too. These people are acting like this is not okay. Like, heaven forbid this happened. And I think a lot of it stems from people's insecurity. They get jealous when they see a pretty girl on top on the internet. And I'm not a pretty girl, so I have to show out my insecurity. And it's wild to me, man. It's so crazy. Look at this. Why would he do that when there's so many girls in LA that are prettier than her? Like, that's just right there. Why? Here's what I don't get. Why are people equating someone's looks to personality? Right? If you're being honest with yourself, let's say you meet someone, and let's just say their looks are at like a Like, I know plenty of guys and gals that do this. Let's say their looks are at like a 4, but they have like a 10 personality, right? Once you get to know them enough, the looks start to become less important over time, and you'll kind of like bring your, you'll bring your benchmark down from like, you need the looks to be 10 and personality to be 10. You'll kind of start to forget about the looks, and the personality becomes far more important. And a lot of people get really insecure about that, and I kind of get it in a way, because, they think that they have to hold someone to their highest standard no matter what. But it's not till you're actually in it that you realize this very thing that I'm talking about. And this idea that, prettier girl than her, sometimes stuff just works out, and who cares? This is that mindset of like, there's always better or whatever. Now, imagine you, the person right here writing this, and then someone telling you there's, a better looking guy out there than you for her or whatever. You know what I mean? You'd feel pretty terrible about that. And I think it's easy to have that, like, there's someone prettier mindset. But just because someone's prettier does not mean that they have a better personality, too. You could have someone with someone that's a full-on 10 for looks and have a 0, like, brick wall personality. Guy, gal, MB, whoever. And it just kills me. I think there's a lot of, on the internet, I think this kind of speaks on a larger issue. There's a lot of people on the internet that are deeply insecure, and so they come to the internet to vent out their problems, but B, fall into a lot of the internet pipelines with maybe not necessarily like guys like Fresh and Fit, but somewhere in that same pipeline of other insecure guys that aren't willing to do the work for themselves and don't feel like they have the power to do the work. And to those people, I feel bad. I never want to shame people for, they might have different circumstances that have led them down this way. And it's just something where it takes another friend of theirs. Maybe they just need to hear, the right thing, or they need therapy in some way. They can't afford it. There's different circumstances where both, guys, gals, NBs, no matter what, cannot, overcome their own personal insecurities. And I think it's a sad issue in of itself. A lot of men's mental health is overlooked oftentimes. And oftentimes if a guy says something even remotely, like, I won't say shitty, but remotely in the direction of, like, how do I put this? Like, if a guy says something that is, like, remotely insecure, I guess, on the internet, they are looked down on, and they also get shit on, and they don't actually have a right path to get the right answer for what they actually need help with. So that's why there's a part of me that feels bad as I'm, like, going through this, but it is a deeper issue that I think needs some looking at, and I think a lot of guys could use a lot of help. And this, obviously applies to, of course, women on the internet who get shit on regularly, just like Verisa is here, for simply, just living, being a happy, pretty girl. You're not allowed, no, we can't do that on the internet. And, I feel bad. I feel bad. There's a lot of women that can't even say the word "the" on the internet without getting shit on. So it's, same. It's all, everyone's different. But here we go. He lives in Australia. He lives in LA. She lives in Australia. The time zone is different. He won't move to Australia and can't move to, he won't move to Australia and she can't move to America. Like, huh? No comment there. Visas are no joke. This person had such a hard time getting their visa. It's a process that can take your documents interview, and Jeff knows he'll be legally responsible for 10 years, even if they don't work out. To the visa comment, a visa is not something that has to take a long time. There's a thing called an expedited visa. I shoot weddings for people, and I got invited to shoot a wedding last summer in June in Mexico, and I forgot that I didn't have a passport. And I guess a passport and visa, I think, might be two separate things. A visa is like for a long time stay, but you can still get a passport. You know what I mean? And also too, I'm kind of going off of what this chatter is saying at this point, or chatter this person in Reddit is saying, under the assumption that Jeff is gonna live there, which is just not right. I don't know how this person got this idea in their head, but I'm just going with it for the sake of the conversation. You can get a passport pretty quickly, and you can stay for, I forget the exact amount of time, but I think there's like a period of time you can stay, and then you got to get going. And by the time he would get back, there would only be like a couple weeks till he would get till he'd be able to get the visa. So it's like that. I don't know why this person's acting like there's no other way. Like someone needs to tell him it's not a good idea to get involved with a person from another country unless you want to be responsible for a child for 10. What are we talking about, a child already? So by this logic, okay, just to kind of recap after the first 3 parts of this. So the logic here standing is that Jeff wants kids. Jeff is an insane person for even considering a long-distance relationship, and that he should never consider that. There's too many pretty girls in LA, so Jeff's crazy for even turning his head to her. And the process is too long and complicated, so therefore Jeff should not do the work. And she lives in Australia, and Jeff immediately should not move to Australia, even though he wasn't considering that. Wait, what? Did my stream end? Hang on a second. Did my stream end? No shot. Oh, no, it didn't. Okay. That scared me. I saw the balloons pop up, and usually that means that it ended when that happens. So here we go. She shouldn't have applied. She shouldn't have been shown. Look at this. She shouldn't have applied. She shouldn't have been shown. No shot. This person just said that. No freaking shot. Let me see what this person said. I think I'm on my way. Okay, give me a sec here. No shot, this person. That is so rude. She shouldn't have applied and shouldn't have been shown. That right there, even if you were on board with the rest of this stuff, that right there just tells me this person's deeply insecure and like really mad at a pretty girl. That's it. This person could have blocked all the rest of this out. I just needed to read this. The fact that she is willing to drop her entire life, friends, family, work, and home entirely is not a sane person thing to do. It's an insane red flag. I'm gonna come to the defense for this. She never said that. This person is putting words into her mouth. I think this person heard one part of this thing and came to a conclusion. She said that she would spend some time in LA but would want to do her life, in Australia if she, I think, mentioned had a kid, or she would want to go back to Australia. She never said she's going to leave everything in Australia for Jeff for good. Oh, man. You know what's wild, too? The podcast was just, like, how long do we, if we go, let's see here. The podcast was 3:36.
Answer.
And, oh, boy, am I getting to add purgatory? I should switch accounts. Oh, God. Hopefully I can get out of ad purgatory soon. Okay. Anyway, well, I'm going to keep talking. So, you know what's crazy is how The podcast itself was here. Look at this. So you have about 40 minutes till roughly an hour and a half. An hour and a half of content of them, plus the other video, which had like a 40-minute interview. So you have roughly a little over 2 hours of content of Jeff and this girl. And out of 2 hours of content, this person felt like they could draw all these conclusions. And I think this also can come to a bigger message that I think is important for people to learn. I've had to learn this myself as I watch content creators. When you get really invested into like a community, like maybe H3, or maybe you get invested in Jeff's podcast or whatever it is, you start to find out little details about people's lives. Like, for instance, I watch Hassan, and I'll find out things about like his dog or whatever, that he's taken his dog to the vet because of this and that, or I'll find out that he's flying here and there. Little details like that, and once you start knowing enough of those details, you start to feel like you have this total grasp on this person's personality and who they are, even off camera. And it's just not fair to the creator themselves. You don't really know the person until you actually meet them in real life. And I've had this experience time and time again because I'm personally friends with a lot of creators that even people who are watching me right now probably watch. And when I've met them in person, they aren't the same as what they are on the internet. And they've all been really, really, really nice, warming people that I've met. And they've been very sweet. Like, for instance, recently last October, I met Nick Is Not Green, right? And while on the internet, he seems like someone that's just, showing up for drama or whatever. He's actually a really nice person. He's a very, very nice, down-to-earth person that's willing to give you like the time of day to talk to you and everything. But, stuff like that won't translate on the internet oftentimes, unfortunately. And it has, because people in this community enjoy it. And then Gabby Bell, another person I got to meet, you only see her for the content. She's a really, really sweet girl. Good vibes all around. And so you don't quite get that same face-to-face connection that you get when you're watching someone on the internet, even though they may give you X amount of details or whatever. And so I think that's important to remember. And clearly this person feels too invested in Jeff's life that I'm going to get a drink of water real quick. Sorry about that. This person feels too invested in Jeff's life that is like, oh, excuse me, I know how Jeff works. Based on my conclusions after watching Jeff, I'm going to draw the conclusion that Jeff will not let this work out. No matter what, Jeff is going to break up with her because I know that. It's like, even if they did, like I already said, who cares? If this is in the event, this is for fun, let it be for fun. Like, it's not that hard just to let something be. I feel like I'm like a third grade teacher. She shouldn't apply and shouldn't have been shown. The fact that she is willing to drop her entire life and friends, family, and work. Like, I just don't remember a point where Verisa said this. Like, was there any point where Verisa said, all right, guys, I'm going to drop my entire life. I'm going to drop my friends. I'm going to drop my family and work and home. Did she say that? Did she? It's not a sane person thing to do. It's an insane red flag. The girl is crazy. Oh, God, this person has gone off the deep end. Oh, where are her parents? Excuse me. Where are her parents? Is she that desperate to leave her country and life behind? Like, does she know Jeff? Does she not know Jeff? The fact that she is so comfortable with whatever her fate is... Okay, I just sound like Ben Shapiro now. The fact that she's so comfortable with whatever her fate is to be with Jeff and move to LA isn't where you're scared to go to another... Dude, she has a week. She has, like, a couple days left in LA at this point. She's probably got like 3 or 4 days left in LA at this point, and then she goes back to Aussie. To live with a stranger is nuts. It's not a Jeff is not a stranger. It's technically speaking, them meeting is like their second date. This whole conversation gets off the rails quick too. This goes to Jeff too. She would have had to live with him. This is how people end up on ID like Jordy Arias. What? She isn't the smartest or best at making decisions. Now this person just decided, you know what? I know her. This person decided that he knows her when he says she was going to drop her entire life and took those words right out of her mouth, very obviously. That's a joke. And now she isn't the smartest making a decision. Very much a pick-me girl. So this person just doesn't like women. Got it. Cool. Will do anything to be picked. Throw her own life away to be a stranger from another country. Needy, desperate, and unattractive. I'm telling you, the pretty girl always wins. Internet does not, especially Reddit, does not like pretty girls. The order in which they were shown first. Last date set her up to win. Now I have something to say about this. I slightly felt that part of it, the order, partially because they kind of alluded to some joke towards the end, where they were like, now isn't that, they said something along the lines of it being coincidental that she was the last one to be picked, or the last one in the order, and the first one, or to be the one that she got picked, or to be Jeff's first choice, right? So she was the last one to get picked and Jeff's first choice. And they made a little joke about it. And so that people don't say I'm insane, I have to show you this. H3 batch. Oh, look at this. Look. She was in the thumbnail in this one. And that made me go, I immediately thought that when I saw the thumbnail. I was just waiting because I figured that would be the choice. So there was that. So if this Reddit person has anything remotely correct, I'll give this Reddit person this. That you can have that. Good job, Redditor. You're allowed to have this. I don't think it was 100% intentional now, as this person stated it. I don't think it's for sure that, but it felt, I'll go down that road a little bit for this. The human brain creates a preference for the first and last thing they see. Huh? I think what they're trying to say is, like, you remember the first and last things you see, so, like, you're going to remember the first thing you did in the day and the last thing you did in the day kind of thing. But that's kind of a weird, it creates a preference for the first and last thing. So let's say the first thing, given they're not talking about people here, given they're saying thing, let's say the first thing options-wise is, getting in a car crash. And the last thing they see would be getting in a helicopter crash. And then the human brain is going to automatically create a preference for that, even though, like, the third thing was to win $1,000, the human brain's preference is going to be to get in a crash. That's where I'm not buying that logic. She was shown first and her date was last. Oh, yeah, that's how it went. She was shown first and her date was last. That's why she won. It made it even more appealing, but she's the worst one of the three. Personality, looks, age, and doesn't even live in the U.S. This person really is, like, really deeply insecure about long-distance relationships. It's kind of sad. You know what, Redditor? I hope you have a nice long-distance relationship. I really deep down do. And I'm not even joking. I kind of hope this person has it so they get to experience how nice it can be for them. I think this person really wants it secretly. But she had a great personality. If it's up to me, I would say throw on H3 podcast. Have her on the pod. She's a great guest. And Morgan is also a great guest. But this conversation is not about the other guests. Maybe I'll do another live stream talking more about this. But it's funny because the actual Bachelor it's happening, I have zero investment in. But this one I felt like I was interested in. That's why I think when I saw this, I was like, what the freak? So I do have some sort of, interest in this, obviously. But what I was going to say is Verisa is a really pretty, cool, outgoing. She has a smile on her face all the time. It's like one of those contagious smiles that makes you smile. She obviously knows how to hold a conversation. She's got a life outside of, just doing nothing. She's got friends. I don't know what else to tell you. Like, she's a very normal person. She says nar, and I support anyone that says nar. If you say nar, you are definitely winning in my books, and that's not a joke. I'm jealous of people that say nar. These comments are all so cringe. Or the comments she makes are all cringe. All of a sudden, she doesn't want to live in the U.S. She got caught and is trying to tone it down. She was such a fan of the studio with the H3 family comments. It was making Jeff cringe. Or was it making you cringe, Redditor? She's so strange. Telling Jeff exactly what we wanted to hear. Threw herself at Jeff in the hardest, which other girls didn't because they have self-respect. She does not have self-respect. How dare this woman? Reddit hates when women win. They hate it. It was a fun, It was a fun contest and will be fun to when reality sets in for Jeff as to what he's actually agreeing to. Like Jeff be an adult and think clearly. It's not going to work. I think this person secretly wants Verisa, wants to DM her or something. This person's really throwing the jabs at. Throwing the jab. Poor girl. I hope she's not reading it. Verisa even made a comment during the H3 Bachelor episode where she was like, how'd she word it? She said something along the lines of, she read through Reddit comments, and I think Jeff mentioned that it made her cry at one point because there were just so many bad Reddit comments, and Ethan was even being like, stay off Reddit, stay off Reddit. So it's just it's kind of a sad story that someone who once showed their face on the internet for 2 hours gets this much shit. And I feel bad for her. She doesn't deserve it. She's a really nice girl. Contest should have had an age minimum. Girls from US or LA only. And only ready to have kids. Okay, I think it was Olivia or Sam. One of the ladies on the H3 podcast. It wasn't Hila, I don't think. Maybe Hila was involved in it. That I don't know. I think Olivia and Sam were, though. That part I'm not 100% on, but I know it was definitely the girls of H3 were looking for the right people on it. And so far H3 Bachelor has been what is it 3 for 3 now? I like how there's 5 people in this right now. She doesn't check any box. H3 and Jeff mess up on this one, and the streak is ruined. I ain't reading all that happy review side that happened. Let's see. Holy fuck, there are so many parasocial viewers. Yep. Oh god, Jeff will never be able to pick a woman to date again. What should we do? Should we just burn the H3 headquarters? It's too much work. They just want the poor man alone forever. That's not nice. Yeah, I think Jeff has been alone for a long time. Jeff doesn't want you, Pookie. We're still going on about this Jesus parasocial weirdo. Okay, so at least there's some Reddit heads that are turning around and kind of seeing the craziness here. Now, look at this. This is where they also took it. So, I think what happened here is then this person in the Jeff Wittek said, anyone know what Mike is on about? And this is what they're talking about.
Trying to be. We called him. He was in here with you.
I know.
I think it was the age thing. No, I remember you're a little too young.
I don't want to spill any beans, but I think that there's still a chance for you.
I don't think so. You know, I tried.
It's not my story to tell.
I thought I could win The Bachelor.
I think you
Is it
still
Bachelor or
can.
Bachelorette?
Why don't you just try to fight him?
Bachelor.
He commented on one of my pictures. I want to wrestle you.
You should wrestle.
How do you think he meant that?
I don't think he meant it.
It's a joke. Oh my god. And then people were pulling up. Here's what people did. People went. Oh my god. Did I even show you this? Okay. Fine. I'll show you guys this. So, people went into Morgan's comments. Let's see. People. Let's see if I can find her. Let me pull up my phone. I'll show you guys this. So people went into her comments, and here we go. Okay. Boom. Where was it? Let me find it. There was a comment that Jeff had left on one of her photos, I believe, and everyone saw that. Right here. Here we go. People went into her Instagram, and they saw this comment, because she was on everyone's Explore page out of nowhere. And it said 4 days ago, and Jeff wrote, "I fumbled," which is a joke. But look at this. He literally said he'd be friends with her, and I'm sure behind closed doors he would have done this as a joke. Yeah, so people, look at this. People were like getting all mad that Jeff said that, which is like just a dumb joke. People are like, oh, he clearly doesn't like her anymore. And they're just using that as bait. So I think, oh, there was another, here was another thing too. Look. Here we go. Basically, the Jeff Wittek subreddit has gone absolutely bonkers. Let's see here. Let me pull it up. And here's another thing. Here's another point I should bring up. Both the girls from the Bachelor, the other two, both made their own posts saying that they're happy for Jeff and happy of how they had their experience with Jeff and got to meet him. They're both very supportive. Not a single one of them is like, oh, can't believe he didn't pick me. Like, no one's being a bad sport about this at all, except for Reddit people. Look at this. This I see Jeff's pinky finger twitch. Even when Ethan said, like, Jeff openly asked for privacy on the podcast, and yet people are just going crazy. Look at this. Look. Even someone said, asking privacy is fine, but we're going to ignore it. Is it widely spectate and potentially harm these people's potential relationships because bored? And I feel bad because it does seem like she's going to read it, but, you know, even if she sees this or somehow sees this video too, either way, I just want the best for everyone in this situation. I just think all this drama is so silly around a stinking little internet show. My God, dude. Not everything has to be this deep. They can just be friends. If it doesn't work out, they can also have it work out, which it looks like it is from my perspective. I don't know what's going on behind the scenes or in their real life. There were people saying, oh, Jeff got up during it and had to go film his ad, so he couldn't wait for her, so he hates her. All this, like, weird narrative bullshit. Like, let them be. If they want to be happy together, let them be. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. And that's okay, too, okay? I get the aspect. I don't want to, like, shame people for being so deeply involved in it, because when you have nothing else going on, this stuff's exciting, right? I get it. But stuff, particularly like people's relationships, you got to just let them be sometimes and leave them alone. It's not really your business to call it one way or the other. And if you guys enjoyed this conversation, maybe this is like I just, this is the point where I feel like I can offer something more than just talking about a situation like this and being like, oh, this person sucks for this. This person is good for this. You know, I think I have a deeper moral on the matter, and I think I have more context to provide and advice to give and things like that. So, you know, maybe if you're in this Redditor situation, or maybe you're going through something or whatever it might be, leave a comment down below. Even if you're not and you enjoy these kinds of conversations, maybe it's more worth it to talk about things like this on the internet. I don't know. I just don't think there's enough spaces for men to like turn into normal people on the internet. I think it's easy to go on the internet and find content where people are like, no, women suck, and people that are, you know, that are non-conforming to a gender aren't allowed to do that, or, you know, and then give no, I don't know, just give and be a charitable person is what I'm trying to say. So hopefully I can help people become charitable people at the end of this. It's just, like, sometimes I read this stuff and I get really sad because I'm like, God, dude. And it sometimes makes me happy, too, because I'm like, thank God, you know, I'm glad I'm not like this. And I want to use that me being not like that to be able to help others is what I'm trying to say, ultimately. And I think that's a great way to end this particular live stream. If you enjoyed the stream, it's a little bit short, about 40 minutes. Usually we do about an hour stream here, sometimes 2 hours. Just want to do a quick little banger tonight, and I'm going to head out. So I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.